Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Fitness and Freedom podcast. It has been a minute. It's been a minute, that's for sure. I'm your host, Thomas Whitehead, and long anticipated return of the pod. To be honest, life has been pretty crazy, pretty manic. I'm not going to lie. So many things going on right now. I feel like life is moving at 100 miles per hour at the very minimum. And lots to update you on, really. The fact that I'm going to be a dad for the very first time in by the time this goes out, 2 weeks. Due date, May the 10th. Business has absolutely been going crazy. So many new clients, so many amazing people joining the community, scaling a team, scaling a business. We also just bought a new house in Cheltenham, which is absolutely amazing. So grateful to be able to buy a second property, but it also means that there's a lot of work. And I suppose as a result, things like the podcast is taking a little bit of a back seat. So yeah, this is kind of me just kind of getting back into the swing of things, really. Just giving you the lowdown on kind of how crazy life has been these last few, say, months. And to top it off, I'm actually I'm knee deep into a cut for a photo shoot. So yeah, I've been dropping weight these last few months. And I suppose I wanted to kind of just talk you through all of that because honestly, if I'm being truthful with you, it feels like I've been losing. But the actual reality is I've actually been winning, which is interesting, isn't it? Because your mind can make you feel a certain way and you can get emotional about a certain thing. But when you start to look at it more objectively, sometimes it paints a different story to what's actually going on. And this, I'm sure, is very relatable on your own fitness journey. If you're on one, even just navigating through life, it can feel like you're losing, you're not getting where you want to be. Maybe each day doesn't feel like a win. But over the long term, over the trajectory of months and years, you actually realize that, do you know what? I'm doing all right. And I think these last few weeks, especially, I felt a lot of overwhelm, especially the way business has been going. It's been growing at a pretty crazy rate. That in itself is tough to manage at the best of times. And then adding in a new house and doing renovations on top of a baby on the way. Yeah, it's been stressful. I'm not going to lie. There's been a lot going on. And this is, a bit more of a personal update, really. So my goal is to get the podcast up and running every week on Wednesday, one episode a week, get that value back in, bring the guest speakers on, and also just have fun doing it. I enjoy these because I think it really gives me a chance to just be authentic and speak my mind and not have to worry about views and engagement and algorithms. I'm sure there's, a lot of that stuff on the podcast side of things, but hey, I just do this because I want to provide value and I like doing it. Whereas social media, there's always some kind of like not hidden agenda, but it's a bit of a game. And yeah, it's nice to be back, to be honest. So much to unpack there that I've just shared with you. I suppose the one thing I want to highlight is my plan really on what I'm going to do and how I'm going to navigate being a dad and also still maintaining my health, because for a long, long time, I've been a big advocate of, listen, just because you have children doesn't mean that it's an excuse to let your health go. In actual fact, it should be an excuse to prioritize your health even more. And I've felt a massive sense of that recently because everything changes. Like my whole mindset has kind of changed, which I know is very cliche, but now I'm starting to think about my decisions and how they not just really impact me, but they're going to impact my little boy when he's here. And what kind of dad, what kind of role model, what kind of influence do I actually want to be on that little boy? And it all comes from the top. It's a very top-down approach. So, yes, I understand that time is going to be very crucial, I suppose, in those first few weeks. And the fact that I'm doing a photo shoot, hopefully within the next 3 weeks before he's born, is definitely cutting it tight. But then there's also that part of what happens if if I'm not fully ready yet, and I have to roll it into like a week into him being born. So there's a lot. There's a lot that could happen. There's a lot that could go wrong. But if I'm going to talk the talk, then I feel like I have a duty to walk the walk, you know? I think a lot of people, parents, use time as a reason not to prioritize their health and fitness. Whereas I want to use that as a reason to continue to prioritize my health and fitness so that I can be a great example, so that I can be a good role model. You know, I want healthy habits, healthy food, healthy lifestyle just to be something that's normal, just an everyday part of life for my son, you know? And I don't want it to be strange that we're prioritizing protein, or strange that mommy and daddy go for a walk in the evenings. Like, I want that to be a normal part of his upbringing and his routine. And I know that it's going to be a lot easier said than done, but I'm up for the challenge. I'm 100% up for the challenge. And I think also part of that needs to be a line of communication with my partner to say, hey, look, this is really important to me. And I know also health is a massively important thing to her. So it's about saying, what do you need from me so that I can have this, say like an hour at the gym? What do you need from me so that I can buy that piece of time? You know, and I think these conversations are conversations that don't necessarily happen maybe between couples. And then it can be like a bit of a breakdown of communication, because maybe if the wife or the husband wants to prioritize their health but hasn't communicated that, and then just goes and does it, it can sometimes feel like, well, how come you get to do that and I don't? Or sometimes there can be a little bit of jealousy in there, a little bit of comparison syndrome. The mind's a wonderful thing. And I think if that message is communicated beforehand, then I believe that it makes it a lot easier for both parties to ultimately get what they want, right? The other thing I think is understanding that when this baby's here, I'm not going to be able to train as much. I'm probably not going to be able to train as hard because sleep is going to be impacted. I might not be able to dedicate as much time to certain activities. And I think that's also okay. And this is where that perfectionist mindset from some people can fall into. And this was actually a conversation I had with my clients the other day, where we were talking about creating a calorie deficit and achieving results without obsession, without guilt, and without over reliance on trying to be perfect. I think it really hit the nail on the head. It really resonated with a few people, where it's like, look, if you can't make every single session absolutely amazing, or even if you can't even make every single session, so say you wanted to go to the gym 3 times a week and you manage 2, like, that's okay. That's fine. It's not the end of the world. And doing something is always better than doing nothing. And yeah, things are going to change. Like, I know my whole life is going to be completely uprooted. I'm going to have to be a lot more conscious with my time, with my energy. So it's about trying to move those pieces of the puzzle into the right place, as opposed to trying to force, you know, square pegs into square holes. Sometimes it might not always work like that, and that's okay. I think as long as you're staying somewhat consistent, not perfect, but consistent, then I believe that that alone is a massive contributing factor to you being successful with your health and fitness goals. And it's something that I've taken into consideration and on board, knowing that that's probably going to be the case. And that's also brings me back to that kind of point of, I've got a photo shoot coming up. So my thought process was, I'm going to get in the best shape of my life before this baby's here so that I can maintain a really decent level of body fat and physique all year round. So I feel like if I can do the hard work before the baby's actually here, I'm going to thank myself 10 times over. Now, I understand that not everyone can do that. And most people listening to this might already be parents. So it's like, well, that boat's sailed. But I suppose it's never too late to start. It's never too late to commit to your goals because, like I always say, time waits for no one. Like, time doesn't give a shit how you feel. Time doesn't care what's going on in your life. And there's always that reality. There's always ever going to be two versions of yourself. Version one, he or she has hit every single goal that they mapped out. Or not every single goal, but they've got close. They committed, they followed through on what they said they were going to do, and now they have the results and the outcome to show for it. Version number two is you don't hit any of those goals. You didn't fully commit. You didn't really go all in on the process. You didn't fall in love with becoming that version of self you wanted to be. And as a result, you don't hit any of those goals. And I think it's important to reflect that, hey, one of those two versions have to happen. You're either going to be in exactly the same spot this time next year or worse, or you're not. But if we think about it, one of those two realities have to happen. There's no other way. Unless something happens between now and next year and you're not here and I'm not here, one of those two versions is going to be a reality. And I think that's really important to consider because what would it be like for you if you didn't hit those goals? I mean, I sometimes imagine the worst version of myself, a version who's fat, overweight, unhappy. And that gives me motivation in a way, weirdly, because I couldn't imagine being like that. But it could be a reality. That could, if for whatever reason I just decided, no, I'm done with my health and my fitness, or something happens and, maybe a traumatic tragedy happened and I never really picked myself up and got myself out of a hole. There is the reality that I could be the absolute worst version of myself because anything can happen. And it's important to realize that because no action will lead to that. Like, if you don't take action on your goals, you are essentially allowing that reality to potentially happen. So for me, it's my non-negotiables and it's the communication with my partner, Cara, that, hey, look, I'm not expecting to be in the gym 4, 5, 6 days a week for 2 hours at a time, 3 hours at a time, like I'm doing now. But can I carve 45 minutes 3 times a week for a quick workout? Something like that, right? Or, hey, let's make sure we get a daily walk in every morning with the baby. Let's see what we can do to optimize sleep, buy back a little bit of time. What do you need from me? What can I give to you? What do I need from you, etc. And I think the more you kind of have this structure, at least somewhat in place, it helps a lot because then health and fitness doesn't become something that you think like you park to the side. It's like, oh, when I have time for that, I'll do that. It's very much, hey, this is part of the priority list. This has to be embedded into the setup of the day, of the week, of the month, not an afterthought. I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. But hey, I'm saying this now. When the baby comes, I might be like, holy shit, no chance. But I'm very, very confident that that won't be the case. I'm very confident that that won't be the case. Another thing is having that accountability. I think too many people lack accountability and guidance and structure with their goals. And like I was saying, the health and fitness just becomes a bit of an afterthought. And that's where things can be a little bit dangerous, So it's crazy. Going back to the start, I said, I feel like I'm failing. Yet I'm 3 weeks away from being around 10% body fat. My abs are starting to come out. We've just bought another property. We're going to have a baby and start a family. Business is going well. And yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy if you just keep on putting one foot in front of the other and you just refuse to stop. Even if life is absolutely chaos, you just find a way. You just somehow dig deep, get it done, you sacrifice. You will come out on top. Like, it's impossible not to. I truly believe that. I truly believe if you just refuse to quit and you keep on going and going and going, success becomes inevitable. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And there's been so many times along as well, like over this. So I started losing weight probably about this time last year. I lost quite a bit of weight to begin with. And then I went to Turkey to get a hair transplant. And we'll do a separate episode on that as well, because that was absolutely wild and life-changing. I went to Turkey, did that. That got in the way of my transformation, my photo shoot. I was actually planning to do the photo shoot at the end of last year, November. Went to Turkey, got it done, couldn't train properly for like 3-4 weeks. That's that out the window. Christmas came around, wasn't in the right mindset. New Year's came around, took me a while to even get going. I've been to Amsterdam in the process, road tripping. There's been loads of stuff that has made me feel like such a bumpy ride. But yet, hey, I've just lowered the bar on perfection. I've refused to quit. I've made sure that I have my non-negotiables dialed in. I'm not obsessed. I've shifted my perspective from perfection and obsession to just relaxing and just saying, hey, do you know what? I don't really give a shit how long all of this takes. I just know that eventually I'm going to hit the goals. Like, I know I will get there if I just keep going. And that's the same with the next few chapters that are coming up in my life. I know that as long as I don't quit, become complacent, like the business will continue to grow. I will manage to stay on top of my health and fitness. The clients inside the program are going to continue to get amazing results. Myself and Cara are going to continue building our future and ultimately providing a good, healthy lifestyle to our little baby boy. So yeah, lots to go through, lots to unpack. Like I said, sorry that I've been out of the game, but I do want to make a commitment to go into one podcast episode a week. We'll see what happens when the baby's here. Hopefully I haven't bitten off more than I can chew. But like I said, I love these podcast episodes. Like, even if one person listens to it and find value, like, that's pretty cool. You know, giving me 20 minutes of your time to listen and hopefully extract some kind of knowledge and value that you can take into your own life is epic. Like, that's awesome. You know, really, really cool. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to clock out. If you are lacking a little bit of clarity, maybe accountability, maybe you want a little bit of a helping hand. You're in the position where, do you know what? Yeah, I have let my health and fitness slip a little bit. I have become a little bit complacent. I have maybe used certain things as an excuse not to take my health and fitness seriously, and I'm ready for a real transformation, a real change. You can message me on Instagram or WhatsApp or Facebook or TikTok with the word ready. I'll know what you mean and we can have a conversation. I'll just find out a little bit more about your goals, your current situation, have a look at kind of what's going on in your life that's holding you back, and come up with a game plan to get you in the best possible shape of your life. Now, I'll tell you one thing. Being lean, going from 101 kg down to 81.3 as of 80 kg this morning. Oh man, feel fucking good, mate. Feel really good. Like, just more confident, more energy, less aches and pains, still feeling really strong. The hair transplant definitely helps. Life's good when you feel like this, and I want more people to be able to experience that. I really do. I really do. So whether you want to work with me or not, that's absolutely fine. But please do everything you can in your power to look and feel good. Like, you deserve it. Life is 10 times better when you feel amazing in your skin, confident to take your t-shirt off, confident to go on holiday. Like, life is short not to feel anything like that. So that's what I've got for you today. The podcast is back. We're back with a bang. If you like these episodes, pass the pod, let someone know, share, subscribe, give it a like. Just let anyone know. The more people we can get this message out to, the more people we can help, the more people we can help change their lives. And yeah, it's going to be a whole family. So that's it. Peace and love. Can't wait to see you on the next one, and have an amazing rest of your day.